Hello and what is up guys, Rye here and welcome back to some more automation and BeamNG.Drive. Today we're going to build a sports car, not just any sports car. This is pretty much going to be a supercar or a hypercar from the 90s, I guess. It's going to be a front engine, rear wheel drive, massive engine of course in the front. It's going to be similar to a few cars, for one, the Dodge Viper with a massive V10 engine, obviously. The Cerbera Speed 12 with a massive V12 engine. The Mercedes SL73 AMG. So basically, we're making a crazy car. That's what we're making. We're making a crazy car. First things first, carbon fiber panels to start. This thing, it's kind of a heavy body that we're using. Almost unnaturally so, which is okay. It's a very large body. Monocoque chassis, so we're going to use carbon fiber throughout. It's going to bring the weight down to a more acceptable level. Front-mounted longitudinal engine, double wishbone front, and we can go for pushrod or multi-link. We'll go for pushrod for now. It's a little unrealistic, but this thing is basically a race car for the road. We're going to go for a V12 all-aluminum 5-valve engine. Basically, all-aluminum or ALSI? Yeah, all-aluminum's fine. It's going to be a massive, like, I think just the 7-liter sounds like a totally reasonable engine size. You know what? It's not like a crazy massive V12. It's a very large V12, but it's not like a crazy large V12, you know? It's 7 liters is just large in general, though, for sure. We're gonna go for all of this just to start off right now. We're gonna go for a 65 cam. We'll go for a 9.5 to 1 compression. Naturally aspirated. We don't need turbos. This thing is basically America on steroids. Multi-point per cylinder fuel injection with a not a race intake, a performance intake. Forgive me, guys. You know, it's still road legal. This is still a street car. It's not gonna be too obscene. Premium fuel, though, obviously, to power this bad boy. Long tube headers, high flow three-way catalytic converter, and just straight through exhaust. Probably a 5-inch exhaust to start off. So right now, we can rev pretty high to like mid 8,000s. I honestly think 8,000 is more than enough revs for us. We're gonna go a higher cam profile, probably 75 cam profile. We've got over 650 horsepower, which is an absolutely obscene amount of horsepower. We can actually even increase that to 100. 750 horsepower. Okay, that's fine. And 550 torque. That is an incredibly powerful engine for 1999. Incredibly powerful, especially for a car of this weight. And you can see here, my gosh, is this body totally wild. And actually, we can make it a bit more of a wide body even, but I just don't think that's necessary. Like, we can do this. That makes it even crazier, but I kind of like having it narrow. We can do a bigger, wider rear end just a little bit. We'll go for drivetrain, rear wheel drive. This is going to be basically an insane street car, but it's almost a race car. Why? You know, that's fine. That's fine. Our top speed right now, 370 kilometers an hour. That's like, what, 230 miles an hour? That's pretty reasonable. We'll do a automatic locking differential. We're going to have that just for the better 0 to 60 in automation. It's not going to be better in BeamNG, but, you know, it'll be fine. 275's massive... Oh my gosh, that is some thick rear tires. Look at this, that is thick as heck. Then we'll do some just standstill front tires as well. Do like what? Yeah, 35 stance in the front, a little less, 25. That sounds reasonable. Magnesium wheels, vented 4 pistons that are also, wait, what's the tire size here? Low 17s, we'll go 18s and a bit bigger. So still, a decent sidewall, nothing too crazy on these things. We'll go for some 4 pistons in the rear, about the same size, a little smaller. Fully clad. We're gonna go for 2-seat sport and no entertainment. This thing hopefully is gonna be around same power to weight ratio as a Cerbera Speed 12, mid 2,000 pounds ish, and about 700 and whatnot horsepower. Hydraulic power steering. We don't need variable hydraulic. The reason for that is, you know, this is a supercar, pretty much a hypercar even at this point for 1999. But you get one steering mode. You just get race. We'll just use ABS only. We don't need ESC. That's totally fine. Progressive, semi-active, and passive. That sounds like a reasonable setup. So, okay, it's a little heavy, actually. I take it back. 2,900 pounds. We'll lower the safety down a bit to, like, basic 90s. And lower this down to, like, 35. Safety sounds like a reasonable amount for, like, a supercar. There's actually a muscle premium. Somehow. No one really knows how. Are we race tuned? Let's do race tune. And let's fix this. We still have some oversteer by a good bit. We do need some downforce, actually. I'll put a wing on there for now. It's going to be a relatively tame design. I mean, it's a wild car. It doesn't even need a crazy design. It's going to be a relatively tame design, I think. Wait, what is this? That's terrible. That doesn't fit that at all. Oh god, the car just looks so narrow. My gosh, does this car just look narrow? It scares me. Don't ask why, but it just does. Okay, that's better. That's a little more. It's a very aggressive wing. We got 950 down or 970 pounds of downforce in the rear, which is pretty good. 060, not that impressive. Not that impressive right now. We can actually increase the aero to plus 10 probably. 106. Okay, we're under budget. $116,000. 060 in like, you know, the 4-ish second range. We can actually probably go plus 5 on the tires. So far, $190,000. You know, weighs 2,600 pounds, and it's got an incredible 750. It's got less horsepower than the Cerbera Speed 12, and it's also heavier. But that's okay. What we're gonna do now is, like all the builds I do, we're gonna design the car in a short time lapse. Then we're gonna hop into BeamNG.Drive and see how this thing drives on the track. I also want to take this one maybe in like the Jump Arena just to see. Because it's such a weird body. It's a mod body. Do mod bodies deform well? I don't know. So sit back, relax, guys, and I hope you enjoy. And we are starting the build for pretty much a supercar from the late 1990s, early 2000s. This thing is going to have a pretty aggressive, but I think a different front end. The Cerbera Speed 12 has this very unique front end, and this is the Cerbera Speed 12 body, so I don't want to copy it 100%, so I start off with a massive smiling mouth, and these very sort of tired, sleepy, very slim, which I think looks pretty futuristic for 1999 headlights, with basically a bar going across at an angle, with the same angle as the actual headlights, basically separating the main grille into 3 sections. We have the middle and we got the 2 sides, having some intakes on the edge of the actual hood next to the headlights itself, filling in the headlights with just like HIDs, I guess is what that would be, some bulbs and whatnot, basically. Adding some very aggressive mirrors to the side. Now the whole front end is quite simplistic with just some fog lamps up front as well. Putting the side dump exhaust at the back behind the driver's side door, behind the doors in general. Adding the 5-spoke wheels, playing around with some things like the taillights now. I want to have a similar shape as the front taillights to the rear, so almost like some sleepy kind of eye shape, but except this is going to be a bit taller, a bit more narrow, which I think looks even newer than 1999 in my opinion, but I think it looks good. Adding a similar kind of layout from the rear to the front with basically a slightly slanted taillight design, and then adding a indentation in the back where the trunk is, where I guess you could have a license plate or what have you, etc. Adding a door handle, a rear diffuser, changing the wing, and just tweaking a few things here. They're adding these sort of slashes, just like the front grille, but to the rear. Playing around with a few things here and there, adding a gas cap, a front wing, changing downforce, changing gearing, basically, and a few things here or there. Now we're deciding on the name. This thing is the Ezra GT12. It's pretty much a Cerbera Speed 12 competitor. Like I said, we have the 1999 Ezra GT12. And that is the Ezra GT12, pretty much a race car for the road at this point. Of course, like I said in the time lapse, I copied a few styling elements from a few different, pretty much concept cars or race cars or hypercars, or just wild cars from the 1990s, or the late 90s, I guess in this case. The front, it does have some Cerbera Speed 12. I mean, it is the Cerbera Speed 12 body as far as I'm aware. It's got 4 GT90-esque headlights. They're similar but different. It's got a similar grille to a Cerbera Speed 12 and a GT90 combined. And the front diffuser down here, the front splitter, I guess is what this is not really based off anything. The wheels are pretty Cerbera Speed 12. It does have the side dump exhaust, similar to the Cerbera Speed 12. So this is basically a Cerbera, but just, is it better? I don't really know. It is crazier, I'll tell you that right now. So it's got these massive giant mirrors like the Cerbera, massive wing, of course, the back. We have the Ezra badge on the back. There's no exhaust because this thing has the side dump exhaust. Big old taillights, massive taillights actually. I'm not too sure what these are shaped after actually. I tried to follow a similar design from the front to the rear, but just enlarge them basically, make it a little taller, a little narrower. We have this diffuser kind of thing at the bottom. Overall, I am pretty happy with how this thing turned out. It's more of a simple design. There's not too much going on, but I think the body really speaks for itself. In this case, the 0 to 60, 3.9 seconds, top speed of 355 kilometers an hour, so it's around 220-ish miles an hour, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. 2,600 pounds. It's got no comfort because who needs comfort? Who needs comfort? This is a true car right here. I don't know what country this car is based off of. I'm not too sure the country. It's got a bit of of course it's a Cerbera body, but it's got some Ford elements here and there, and some other cars mixed in there as well. basically competing against the top hypercars or supercars of the time. And this thing, it's not faster than a lot of them. It's slower than McLaren F1, which came in the 90s. What this thing, you know, doesn't have in speed, it makes up for in pure just insanity. It's got probably the largest production tires on any car ever, I would say. 395s must be the largest production car tire. So what we're going to do is hop into BeamNG.Drive. I want to see how crazy this thing is on the track, because it has some pretty good downforce, not going to lie. Just over 100 pounds in the rear, so no lift, and then almost 2,000 pounds in the rear. So 120 in the front, 2,000 in the rear. It's pretty wild. We'll hop into BeamNG.Drive and see what this thing can do. Alright guys, so we're finally in BeamNG.Drive with the Azera GT12. I like the GT12, but you know what, I had a badge in the front of my V16 muscle car recently, and I'm like, let's try and offset it on this car too. I think it looks great on this car too. Not too many examples, you can have that. The rear diffuser falls off a lot. That's okay, we don't need that where we're going anyways. We don't need the extra downforce, I guess. This is Hirochi Raceway Long, so it's a high-speed Hirochi Raceway circuit. After this, we're going to hop into the jump map and just see if this thing can get pretty far on the jump, just for fun, honestly. This thing's quite fast, so we'll see how fast we can go on that. We're going to hop in. We're going to go in first person just because this car is already an absolute nightmare to drive. So we might as well make it easier on ourselves and do first person. We can do a 160 in this first corner. We are losing grip, understeering a little bit there. 140 we slowed down to. Right to third. Now we're not going for, like, whenever I do these videos, I never go for my record time, just sort of seeing how the car feels. Oh my gosh, the acceleration is crazy. For an NA engine, we're going to brake very late, very late. Ooh, a little bit too late. We're okay, we're all fine. Oh boy. Down to third here, or going to third at least. We'll stay in third around this corner, nice and gentle. This thing's got a lot of wheel spin in the high revs, but honestly, oh gosh, it tries to kill you any chance it gets. It is not awful. I'll post a link for this car down in the description, just so you guys can have that and try it out if you guys want. I'll post the BeamNG, or the automation file. The car you guys can transfer to a BeamNG if you want. Or I'll post the BeamNG. Yeah. That makes more sense, I guess. Oh, the acceleration. We're going to brake here late. 250 I think we got to. A little bit on the sand. Okay, we're a little bit. We're going to keep going anyways, though. I think I'm a little bit overzealous with the judging. We're going to retry that. Back here, let's straight away. We're going to brake nice and early. Look at that. We got to 250 though, actually. That wasn't bad at all. Brake a little early here. Stay in third gear. A little bit tail happy, but it's honestly not terrible. Like, this is probably much more controllable than the Cerbera's IRL. We only have ABS. We have no ESC, I don't think, at all. And it's not bad. Full throttle. A little bit of wheel spin. There's our diffuser. Like a 130.4 is like a reasonable time. That's the first time we've ever finished. My best lap ever on Hirochi Long, which is not that impressive to say the least. We're gonna hop into the jump arena. I just want to see if this thing can go pretty far. It's got a lot of downforce at high top speed. Let's take a look and see how it does there. So we're at the last little bit of the video here. This is the jump ramp. It's not recommended to jump off at more than 200 kilometers an hour. Apparently so. I didn't even know there was a sign there, actually. So we're gonna do third person here. I actually really like the rear and how it's laid out. It looks kind of weird like this, but like, this isn't falling off, and like the tail, I like it all come together. We're gonna just launch it nice and slow here. We're gonna go a bit higher up. I just want to see how far we can get, because we've done jump ramp before, and this is just something a little different, basically. Okay, we've already messed up. I fear the worst is happening, guys. We're gonna restart that. That was not. Look at that power graph. I want to have that up there too. We're gonna brake. Go to third even. A little higher so we can see here. Oh, the acceleration is just mad. Oh boy, we're flying. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we just cleared the whole thing. We landed the sand? Just about. This thing flies. It wasn't even going that fast. I'm gonna try one more time. Wow, we weren't even going that fast, actually. Spin the tires just a little bit here because we can. We're gonna brake. Stay in second. Go to third, fourth. Come on. Well, let's just try to jump dead center again. Go 300 kilometers an hour yet again. We'll just redline it, might as well. 300 kilometers an hour, 310 we're flying right now, 320. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was interesting. That was just something different. We're going to finish off on that note. Might as well. If you guys liked the video, leave a like down below. If you want to see more automation, let me know in the comments below. A link to the Discord, to my Discord, is in the description, probably in the pinned comment as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you next time.